Hello and welcome to Inferno Insider, the hottest podcast at Arizona State University. We're here for the fans, forged in the flames, and brought to you by the Sun Devil student section. Stay tuned as we take you inside the Inferno.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Inferno Insider podcast. I'm RJ.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Jacob.
It's a beautiful morning, guys. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic.
It was
Ready
a great
to go.
week. It was a great weekend.
Great week, great weekend.
That's just a perfect segue into the rundown of the recent sports in ASU's past week. Women's basketball beat Colorado 66-49 on February 15th. They also beat Utah 60-58 on the 17th. Guys, what are the thoughts on that?
20-0 run. 20-0 run to beat Utah. They were down 18 with, 3 or 4 minutes left in the game?
Yeah. It was really just remarkable to see the team just coming back, facing adversity, backs against the wall, and then just going, like, why are we worrying? We're the better team, and proving it in that last stretch of the game. Obviously, the 20-0 run speaks for itself.
Yeah, they're playing phenomenal at the right time, too. We're coming close to tournament time, so big things ahead for them.
All right, so women's basketball is currently ranked number 19 in the nation. Now, men's basketball lost to Colorado 77-73 on the 13th, but beat Utah on the 16th, 98-87, and are currently ranked number 3 in the Pac-12. Pac-12 is wide open, man.
It really is. Obviously, with the exception of Washington, everyone from 2 to 10 has a shot at really being one of those first 4 seeds. And the importance of the first 4 seeds is the fact that you get a first-round bye in the Pac-12 tournament. So that is pretty much the main reason why we need to have these next couple of games really hit them hard and get those wins, because we're also a bubble team in the NCAA tournament. So each game you almost have to have that tournament mindset that it's going to be one and done. If you lose, it's like that might be the end of your season right there. So I think this is pivotal, and I think Sun Devils are actually hopefully going to win the rest of the season.
We got, 2 more home games left?
2 more home games this week.
This Wednesday and this Saturday. So
Sunday. Yes.
Sunday, Wednesday and Sunday. These games count. These games mean a ton. So come out and support, because we need these wins.
Fill the bank.
That's right.
All right, now let's move into baseball. Winning against Notre Dame 10-1 on the 15th, 20-7 on the 16th, and 16-5 on the 17th. Great week for them. We'll get back into that in a little bit. Softball having an amazing weekend as well, winning 9-6 on the 14th against Illinois State, losing 2-7 on the 15th against Florida, winning 8-2 on the 16th against Central Michigan, winning 10-2 on the 17th against Utah State, and 12-3 on the 17th against San Diego. A great weekend. Amazing performance in the Littlewood Classic, and we'll get into that in a little bit as well. And men's hockey, a great season, a great weekend, winning 4-1 on the 15th and 5-4 in overtime on the 16th against American International. And that's a perfect segue into our first segment. Men's hockey, first 20-plus win of the season in ASU history. What are you guys' thoughts?
We are on the verge of something very, very special with this hockey team. First time, like you said, 21 season. Check. We right now should be near lock to make that top 16 to be in that NCAA tournament. First time in school history. And you have to remember that this program really has only been D1 for less than 4 years. To have that ability to grow quickly is amazing to watch. And the most amazing thing in my eyes is senior night. It was senior night on Saturday. Sending that all-important senior class, the one that helped really grow and shape this program, off with a victory in Oceanside in overtime against a really good American International squad. That says a lot about the heart and the determination of this team. And it's just the road to the Frozen Four is going to be a long one, but it's going to be one that I think the Sun Devils can easily accomplish.
And like you were saying, we're not done yet.
Nowhere close.
We're nowhere close. I think this team, the ceiling is very high. I am so excited to see what's going to be coming in the next month or so for this team. And the seniors are key. We had the chance to talk to Johnny, and he was saying those seniors are so important.
Yes.
And they are the tradition. They have that be the tradition phrase, and they live by that. And it has really, that and Coach Powers, that has guided them through this entire season. That last game was really just a microcosm of the entire season. They fought till the very end. Big overtime win. The energy. Oceanside. It's what a season. We're going to be talking about this for a long time.
And having the privilege, like Tyler said, to sit down and talk with Johnny Walker, that there was one thing he brought up that during the interview that really kind of struck a chord with me. It's like, this team wasn't one of the best teams last year. Mm-hmm. And the turnaround from going like nearly a 20-loss team to a 20-win team in the course of 365 days is absolutely amazing to watch. And another thing is, like, when they played Ohio State, when they lost close to Ohio State, when they played Penn State on the road, split the series there, they're like, we can hold our own. We can beat these teams on any given day. And that's the mentality that this team has had for the entire season. Not so much an underdog mentality, but definitely pretty similar to one. But they can hold their own, and they are really the team of the future. And that's something, who would have thought Arizona State is a hockey school? Mm-hmm. Who would have thought those words would ever be spoken?
Yeah, well, we're getting a lot of attention nationwide, too. I know there's an ESPN segment coming out on us.
There was NBC Sports had one yesterday for Hockey Day in America during one of their big on NBC, not on their like NBC Sports Network. This was on big NBC, where every household that has a television can see this little feature that was put on about Sun Devil hockey.
And I think all this is possible because, and Johnny Walker said this in the interview as well, from freshmen to the 5-year seniors, right? Every single one of them is building into that culture, feeding into that ASU culture, bring that into that locker room, and being able to really just be the spark and be that person that is,
be the tradition.
Be the tradition. They're the ones that are feeding into this and being the ones that are putting ASU on that big stage right now. And I think it's beautiful to see that every single one of them's bought into this.
There's no selfishness on that team. That's the one thing you will find there. There's no one person that is about their goals, about their stats. It's about the team for them.
And Johnny really exemplified that.
Yeah.
In the interview, he really talked about the team as a whole, even though he's had a very stellar season. He talked about nearly every single player on that team and how they have a role, how it's he said, and I love this analogy, that it's a jigsaw puzzle and everyone fits in. I love that analogy, and it's just, I think that's the one thing. And of course, Coach Powers, the be the tradition mantra this team has had for the entirety of its tenure. That's something that's a rally cry for this entire team. Be the tradition, be that spark to really put ASU hockey on the map.
Us as fans have this really unique opportunity to say that somewhere down the line, when this team is going to be a powerhouse for years to come, that we were here when it all started, and we were fans when it all started. So we can't lose that opportunity to see these guys and what they're doing, because they are building history right now. They are building something that's going to be here for a very long time, and it only happens once, and you don't get an opportunity to watch something like this happen right before your eyes very often.
And I think it would be really cool once one of these Sun Devils get to go to the NHL.
Yeah,
going like,
it's going to happen.
Hey,
it's coming.
I saw him play in college.
That's right.
And someone goes, What college did they go to? Arizona State University.
Hockey
I think that would be,
that just brings a smile to my face.
Yeah,
right?
It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That's just a beautiful thing to hear.
It's awesome.
And I want to go back to Johnny Walker for a second. I know we keep bringing him up in this, but bringing in someone that great, I think attracts so much future potential. Because you're seeing someone thrive so well here and in this program that I think that ASU is going to start bringing in more of these younger, eager players and seeing that ASU is a destination spot.
And they already kind of have. Mario Lemieux, one of the best hockey players of all time. His son plays for ASU. And the thing is, he's not getting a lot of the limelight. He's not getting much of the shine, even though his last name says Lemieux on the back. I mean, he's Mario Lemieux is one of the names that hockey fans look at and go, one of the best players. And if his son's anything like him, this team's going to be something special for years to come. And, of course, Joey Daccord, he's also very young as well. He's going to be a star. He already got drafted by the Ottawa Senators. We're going to have a Sun Devil on an NHL roster here shortly, and people are going to look at, hey, we're going to be an NHL factory, I think. Yeah. That'll be something really cool to watch.
That's kind of it's how we've done with basketball, where Bobby Hurley's kind of built us up to a point where we're getting like these big 4-star, 5-star recruits. Same thing's going to happen with hockey. Coach Powers has built up this program to be a destination that people want to go to. I mean, You don't find very many hockey schools with the weather we have here.
No.
So that alone is a reason for a lot of people to come, and just the program they're building here is something special. If I was a hockey player, I'd want to play here.
And I know he never put on a Sun Devil uniform, but one person that really has helped establish the state of Arizona and ASU as a whole, really to help that NHL mentality, he plays for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's one of the best players in the league, Austin Matthews from Scottsdale, Arizona. I think he's the first one to really kind of go, you can be a hockey player from Arizona. Johnny Walker, same thing. He's from Phoenix. He's the leading scorer in NCAA. He's from Phoenix, Arizona. ASU is becoming that hockey school, and the state of Arizona as a whole is becoming a hockey state.
Yep.
Slowly but surely.
And you love to see it.
You love to see it.
Love to see it.
Watch them. Watch these guys.
Yeah.
Watch their championship run, because it's going to be special.
And I feel like once you go to one game, you're going to be hooked. You're going to be hooked, and
Yeah.
you're going to want to go to every single game after that.
Unfortunately, the home season's over, but I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for next year's home season. I want to see where this goes. Next season.
And we haven't even talked about the fact that
No.
they're building a stadium.
No.
They're building our own. That alone shows how much progress this team has
Exactly.
made. That they are making our own ASU hockey arena, and I think when that happens, this is just going to blow up. It's gonna be
Exactly, and
unbelievable.
that arena, more details be available later on down the road, but like that's going to be a beautiful thing to see. With
It's gonna be exciting.
it's going to be housing multitude of ASU sports, not just hockey, but that's something that's big for ASU as a whole.
Yeah.
To have gymnastics, wrestling, hockey, all under the same roof, I think that's going to be really cool and pretty good for students us to actually have a better ability to make it out to some of these games.
For sure.
All right, so you heard it here. You guys better be watching our men's hockey team just killing it out there on their way to the Frozen Four, because we're getting there. And now let's segue into another amazing team that had just as of an amazing weekend, our women's softball team. Tyler, why don't you kick us off with this?
Wow, this team, I mean, you can't ask really for a better way to start the season. They've had 2 tournaments. Both of them have gone very well for them. They're ranked number 14 in the country right now. We talked a little bit about all their wins that they had this weekend. There was 1 loss in there, but it's important to note that 1 loss was against number 4 Florida. So that wasn't like a fluke team. That's a very good Florida team, and we played them tough. And this team is a team that has the experience. They've been to Omaha, so
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. I knew it was one of the 2. I got it wrong. But they've been to Oklahoma City, so they know what's going on. They have the experience, and they're fun to watch. They put up a lot of runs.
It was just amazing to watch, not just the tournament they had last week, but the tournament they had this week. They, like Tyler said, they put up a bunch of runs. And this team is a team that easily could make another run to Oklahoma City in the Women's College World Series. This team is built for that long haul. It shows that they've only lost 2 games, and they're to 2 really, really high-class opponents. The Pac-12 season is going to be the biggest challenge because Pac-12 softball, it's almost as difficult or even more so difficult than Pac-12 women's basketball. People don't give Pac-12 softball or women's basketball enough credit. But I think it's the hardest competition, hardest conference in any of the sports. I think those 2 are just so difficult to win. And the fact that the Sun Devils consistently, year in and year out, are in the conversation to make that run to Oklahoma City, says a lot. And that this team this year is built for that deep run to Oklahoma City in the Women's College World Series.
Yeah. And, I mean, we talk about all the runs, but they had a really good pitching performance this weekend, too. I think they ended up winning total combined in their Sunday games 22-5. That's 5 runs in 2 games. Softball is a pretty high scoring sport, so to only give up 5 runs is pretty impressive as well. So that shouldn't go unnoticed either.
And I think, Jacob, you touched on something that is pretty key, because it just speaks to the character of the program as well, because you're able to create such grit and such determination year in and year out. And I think that a lot of us don't necessarily acknowledge that.
Yeah, and it's really interesting and cool to watch the day in grind of this team. Like 2 games in 1 day. Not a lot of sports do that.
Yeah.
And the fact that Sun Devil softball did so well in both of them and only allowed 5 runs. People could be like, oh, they probably slacked the second game or got tired. No, not this Sun Devil team. Not at all. 5 runs, 2 games. And then last week, too, same exact thing. It's really interesting to see, as you said, that grit, that determination. I would not be surprised to see this team, like I said, in Oklahoma City. I think this team could be built for a national championship. They're a dark horse. They always are a dark horse to win the national championship.
And so our women's softball team will be performing in the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic in Cathedral City, California, from the 21st to the 24th. Make sure you guys show them your love, show them your support. You know they're going to perform either way, but it'd be nice to know that we're here for them.
And
right.
and that's going to be a tournament I think we can win.
Yeah.
I think we can win that one.
All right, now I'll shift over to men's baseball, having an amazing performance against Notre Dame.
I think amazing is an understatement.
Yeah.
You got me.
I mean, can you ask for a better way to start the season? That's three wins against Notre Dame, a sweep. What 40 something
46.
runs, 46 runs put on the board.
That's a lot of runs.
That's a high-powered offense right there. That is a high-powered offense.
Herm Edwards would be proud of that offense.
That's football numbers. Right there.
Yeah.
That's football numbers. And I mean, some of the key players we had last year are starting off the season well. Spencer Torkelson, 6 for 6 with runners in scoring position this weekend. Had a big week. Still looking for that first home run, but I mean, he had 25 last year. It's coming eventually.
It's coming.
It's coming. But yeah, overall, this team is just looking good. I'm really excited to see. They had a tough grind season last year. I think it was a developing season for a lot of the players, a lot of new guys coming in. This year, I think, is a year where they're going to improve so much. They have the experience now. They're back. And kind of what we talked about with softball, it's grueling. I was looking at their schedule, and you know, we get used to the basketball, football type schedule where they have one game a week, 1 or 2 games a week.
Games a week, yeah.
This team's playing 4 or 5 a week. So it is a grueling schedule, but I'm really excited to see what this team does. They're fun to watch. And I think something that we should talk about is the fact that, like, in comparison to hockey, where we're not in that environment really, where you would expect hockey players, it's the opposite for baseball and softball. And so baseball and softball is huge here. High school sports, that's huge because of the weather we have. We can play it all year round. So the success of these teams is huge because if these teams can get successful, we're going to be getting so much talent coming in because we're in a spot that breeds that sort of talent, and it's in our backyard. So it's going to be really fun to watch this team perform this year.
And not only is it in our backyard, it's in our DNA. ASU for a long time has been
we have a story tradition.
Been called MLBU. We've had over 100 players.
Dustin Pedroia, Barry Bonds, Reggie Jackson. I mean,
We can go on and on. Jason Kipnis. Yeah, we can do a whole podcast on players that have played for ASU baseball and done really, really well. Rick Monday, that's an old school name. But the Pac-12 season, just like I said about softball, it's a grueling one, as Tyler said, with the 3-game series. But also we have to deal with teams like Oregon State, who's consistently in Omaha for the College World Series. We also have to deal with that school down south. They're a pesky bunch. They're consistently good. However, unlike last year, we have them at home 3 times this year instead of only the 1, which I think that's something that plays into our advantage. And they've done some things to Phoenix Muni to make it more of a vibe that they're trying to bring back what they lost from Packard Stadium. Packard Stadium was a great venue. It was right on campus. I had memories of going to Packard Stadium when I was younger with my grandparents. I saw Jason Kipnis play there. But with that being said, this team has a lot of growth and a lot of potential, and they really need to act upon it. I think this Notre Dame series was a great start. Notre Dame isn't traditionally a great baseball school, but to do that against a name like Notre Dame, that says a lot about the heart and the determination of this team, that it's not going to be like last season where, because of last season, people were predicting us to honestly have one of the worst seasons in ASU baseball history. I don't think it'll be that bad. I think we're actually going to have a really good season.
Oh, they're going to use that. That's a chip on their
Exactly.
shoulder. You know, it is for any sport when experts, so to speak, tell you that it isn't going to be a good season, that it's just a chip on their shoulder. And you can tell these guys are playing with a fire. I've read a couple of stories about specific players that have just been working hard this offseason, and I've seen like lots of stories about just their development and stuff. And I'm really excited to see how it plays out on the diamond because these guys work hard, and there is really not off season is not the word to use for it because they're out there every single day grueling. So I'm really excited to see how it goes. I think all their preparation and stuff is really gonna help them have a great season.
And I think these 46 wins kind of validates that chip on their shoulder and also validates their desire to win.
Yes.
Because, like you said, this just lays the foundation for setting up that great year.
Mm-hmm.
Because it validates their ability and they know that they're good, right?
Yeah.
They know that they're here because they deserve it. And these 46 wins just proves that they're here and that they're here to stay.
And it's an older team. It's a little bit of an older team. I mean, we have Torkelson, who is a sophomore, and he's a preseason All-American. We've had Lyle Lynn, who's a very underrated catcher, and he's a junior. We have Alec Marsh, who threw a gem on opening night against Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. This team is built to make a much better run than they did last year, and I truly believe it. It'll be really interesting to see in Phoenix Muni the support they get because of the travel, it's not always there, but we're going to make sure that we do everything in our power to make it a home field advantage. And I'll be as many games as I possibly can, and I hope to see everyone there.
Yeah, that's a sport where we got to get support for that. That team, if they're fun to watch. They're fun to watch.
All right, so our men's baseball team will be playing San Diego at home on February 20th, and they'll be playing against UC Davis February 22nd, February 23rd, and February 24th, also at the Phoenix at the Muni. Make sure you guys show up. Make sure you guys show your love, and make sure they know that they can hear you.
That's right.
It's gonna be a fun time. All right, and now it's time. I don't know if it's a fan favorite, but it's definitely my favorite.
Oh, it's a personal favorite.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
We love it.
A bowl of bowl
The
predictions.
return.
Dun, dun, dun. I wish I could do sound effects, but we'll see. Tyler, why don't you kick this off? What's
All
your
right.
bowl?
So we're talking a little bit about baseball today. So I'm going to throw a name out there that you two might not have heard before, but I want to put him on your guys' radar. His name is Trevor Hauver. Baseball, shortstop in high school. Now, I'm a little biased here because Trevor Hauver went to my high school.
Little bias.
Little biased.
Little
because he went
bias.
to my high school. And I got to see this kid play in high school, and he is an absolute stud. And he had an up and down first year, but he's one of those guys that I've been reading up on and seeing stories on, and he has been working. And he went, I believe, to Cape Cod over summer is what the stories were saying, and he was having a monster summer season because with baseball players, like I said, off season, not a really strong term. They have a summer league. And they usually go somewhere over the summer. He went to, I believe it was Cape Cod, and apparently he was tearing it up there. He's really been working hard. He has a chip on his shoulder as well from last season. So keep that name on your radar because there's a lot of big names on that team, but one of them that people are not talking about is Trevor Hauver, and I think he's going to have a breakout year this year.
Yeah, it's everyone thinks it's the Spencer Torkelson show. No.
That's right.
There's 8 other players on that field for a valid reason, and they all have something to contribute. And I think you said it best that they're all playing with a chip on their shoulder. And I think, a little bit of bias, but I think he's definitely a future player to watch.
That's right.
On this team.
And I think there's a reason everyone thinks it's the Spencer Torkelson show. He's 25 home runs. I can't say it enough times.
As a freshman.
As a freshman,
I think that was leading the country.
it was pretty close, if not the Pac-12.
I felt like every single day I'd go on Twitter and see a highlight of another home run of his. It was unbelievable. So, it was his show last year. He was fun to watch.
Spencer Torkelson was like, if you ever follow the Little League World Series, it's like that Big Al guy. Mm-hmm. Little Al he always was like, my name's Little Al, and I hit dingers, and the entire background was like, gone forever. That's Spencer Torkelson. It's like it goes off his back. He hits dingers, and they're gone forever.
All right, Jacob, hit us with your bowl prediction.
So, mine's not baseball related, but mine is Sandoval hockey related. I did have the opportunity to sit down with Johnny Walker, but I think one thing I gathered from that interview was the determination of this team to perform really well, and the fact that they think they can beat anyone on any given night. So, with that being said, I'm going bold, and I like going bold. I think ASU hockey will make the Frozen Four. I'm not saying winning the national championship. I think making the Frozen Four. And anything beyond that, that's icing on the cake. This team is built to make a decent run. They're going to be more than likely, right now, under all the bracketology predictions that I've seen, they're going to be an 8 seed. They're middle of the pack. So with that being said, we're going to be playing the 9 team, which I've seen multiple different things. I'm not going to go into who it is, but if we win that game, we're playing the number 1 team in the country, which we've already played in the one of the hockey championships that was out here over winter break, and we held them close.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can go to their turf because the West Regional is more than likely where we're going, and that's in Minnesota. No, that's in North Dakota, in Fargo, North Dakota. So pretty close. And I think we can beat them. And if we win that game, we're in Buffalo for the Frozen Four. I think we can make that deep run for the Frozen Four. After talking with Johnny Walker, I'm like, if I wasn't before, I'm already a 100% believer of this team.
Yep.
And this team is going to go out and play for those 5 seniors who really built this program. And I think that's something that Coach Powers has instilled on this team, that it's a team, it's a jigsaw puzzle, and everyone has their piece and everyone fits in. I think this team is very special, and I think this team has big things coming. If it's not this year, be on the lookout for next year.
Yeah.
But I think this team's going to make the Frozen Four.
I think the biggest thing going against them right now is the fact that once they reach that playoff, all the games are going to be pretty far away. They're going to have to travel because there's not very many, good teams in the West. So a lot of the games happen up north or on the East Coast. With that being said, this team doesn't care.
This team
they don't
plays.
care. They play hard either way, and they play good on the road. And they like Johnny was saying, they are clicking right now. They're on a roll. They've won how many games in a row? 5?
They've won a couple in a row. Just the way hockey works out, they do get some splits because they play 2 games in a weekend. But they play really well on the road. And the Penn State game, the one that Johnny Walker said was his. Actually, I'm not going to spoil it. You can listen to the interview once it comes.
Teaser alert.
Teaser alert. But he also said that ASU alumni, and we have a big alumni network, travels well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think no matter where we go, they will follow. So it could be Fargo, North Dakota. It could be Buffalo, New York. It could be anywhere in between. Sun Devil Nation will travel. And especially, it's a magical ride that this team's on. So I think, and they play well on the road. Simple as that. They play well on the road.
If you're not there, if you're still in Arizona, if you're not watching on TV, I don't know what you're doing. Again, this is history. You got to watch this.
It's the only time you could say it's the first time they ever made the tournament. It's the first time ever.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you have a bold prediction, RJ?
You know what? I'm known for my emotions. I'm gonna do 2. I think Spencer Torkelson's gonna have 28 home runs.
Ooh. I like that number.
You know what? I love the number 8 and I love the number 2. So put them together and get 28.
Right.
And I think men's hockey's gonna win the entire thing.
Oh.
You're going really bold, RJ.
You know what? I'm a believer in ASU, and I'm a believer in the tradition and the culture that we set.
And building the tradition.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's and they have the support. I think this hockey team has the support of people who are kind of indifferent about any other school because they're like America's team right now when it comes that's the type of story that you root for if you don't have a specific team in the hunt.
They're like that Cinderella team, like that Loyola Chicago, that team that people.
the Golden Knights.
Yes. You know why I'm stuttering on that one, but I mean, then again, Ovechkin lifted the cup, so what more can I say? Yeah, like the Golden Knights, like just that underdog team that everyone wants to do well. And I think seeing ASU lift that national championship trophy would be pretty special. And that's bold. That's bolder than me, and I go bold.
You know what? Sometimes you just gotta let your emotions decide your bold predictions.
You know what? I'm going to say something you normally say. I love to see that one.
I'd love to see all of this. All right, I think that's a great way to wrap up this episode of the Inferno Insider Podcast. I'm RJ.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Jacob.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. I'll always keep those forks up. Make sure you follow us on any social media at Inferno Insider. Stay tuned for more. Peace out.